What up guys and gals, Dean here, an informational video with not much time left before we meet up and conquer the most amazing walking route for miles around. Some of you have told me you're really looking forward to it, and the attendees list shows lots of other people keen as well. So I've been up on those hills about 10 times over the last few years, and I can tell you this event will provide breathtaking scenery in all directions. A fantastic outdoorsy day out in the countryside at the height of summer, and of course in the company of Friendly Faces group members. There will be social opportunities in abundance. What's not to like? So I've got 3 important points I'm going to make in this video. Number 1, all about the route and are you up to it? Number 2, the meet point. And number 3, how to get there. Let's get straight into it. So number 1, the route and are you up to it? The clue is in the event title. The Malvern Hills. This is a particularly hilly route. Bear in mind that you'll either be walking up a hill or down a hill for a large percentage of this route. There is an initial ascent which can generate a bit of huffing and puffing, and then when we get onto the paths that run along the top we'll be sort of sweeping up and down the tops. So the distance of the route will take us about 5 or 6 miles in total, and it will probably feel more like 7 or 8 miles by the time you're done. So endurance wise, if you've been on let's say 2 or 3 of the other 7 or 8 mile Friendly Faces routes in the past, then you've qualified to do this one as well. If you haven't achieved that yet, please bear in mind before signing up for this you'll need a good level of physical fitness. If your lifestyle involves you getting out and about and walking reasonable distances every so often, you should be okay. But if you're not a fan of hills, you're not sure if you've managed a walk of this length, or if you've got any niggling injuries that can flare up without warning, any of those 3 things, then it's best to sit this one out. So as last year, I've had to reassure a few people that despite the incredible views looking down from the top of these phenomenal peaks, that there's no climbing. So 1 or 2 people assumed that we'd be using our hands to climb up the sides of steep mountains. It's not like that at all. The highest of the peaks is 425 metres above sea level, which is what gives us those amazing views from the top, but the ascent is gradual, no mountains, and certainly doesn't need you to use your hands. It has to be said though that some sections are demanding, so don't assume that this is a casual stroll by any means, but we will take short breaks along the way, and the paths are all comfortably walkable and well trodden. It's mostly hardened earth and loose gravel in places. I would recommend, as I do for all Friendly Faces walks, if you own a pair of walking boots to protect your ankles on a walk of this distance, definitely wear them. If you decide you want to wear trainers anyway, you have been warned. So the Malvern Hills is recognised as an area of outstanding natural beauty here in the UK, so we will occasionally pass other sightseers and tourists walking those paths too, which is perhaps not something that Friendly Faces walkers are used to, because we do some very remote routes, usually where we don't see any other people for the whole distance. Believe it or not, the hills were formed in the pre-Cambrian age, between 600 and 1,000 million years ago, so those paths are definitely well trodden. There's families that go up there, people walk their dogs up there, people passing in both directions. It's all good. So number 2, the meet point. 1 PM outside the Abbey Road coffee shop. Please don't be late. Just to give you an idea of travel time, Google Maps says that from Leamington it takes about an hour to an hour and 15 to drive there. So head for the Priory Road South car park, which is probably the biggest and best. And bear in mind that this car park is about a 10-minute walk from the car park to the meet point, so you'll need to factor that in as well. And the meet point is right beside a coffee shop, so if you want to go in there and grab a coffee before we start, maybe join the queue to go to the toilet, because that will be your last opportunity to do that, then you need to factor time in for that as well. So I would suggest that you need to be on the road at about 11 AM latest, and that's notwithstanding any people pickups that you might need to do before you can properly get on the road. So at 1 PM there will be a lot of excited people waiting at the meet point, all keen to get started. So please plan your journey and don't be the one that everyone is waiting for. Walking up the 99 steps is the first part of our ascent, and if you're late you're going to have to run up those to catch us up, and that will not be an easy task. So number 3, getting there. If there's any non-drivers who need a lift, please make it known now by writing a comment on the event page. Don't leave it until the last minute to ask for a lift, or you may find yourself unable to get there and have to miss out, which would be a real shame. In this big group of Friendly Faces, we've got many drivers who kindly don't mind giving people a lift. Offer a few pounds towards petrol on the day to say thank you for the kind gesture, and you'll be golden. So it's a year since I last did this route, and I personally can't wait to get up there and do it again. I don't know how many hikes you intend to get done this year, but you will struggle to find one with better scenery than this route and with better company than the super social Friendly Faces. It will be an awesome day out. So if you haven't already, Get your name down, and months from now, you'll be able to look back on this day and say you were a part of it. Any other questions? Drop me a message and let me know. Looking forward to that enthusiasm and excitement from everyone at the beginning of a walk, and to seeing you all there on the day. So until then, this is Dean out.